Section 230 and what social media has to do with it. What is Section 230? Section 230 is a law that provides legal immunity to online platforms like social media for content posted by their users, preventing them from being treated as publisher or speaker of the content. Pretend that your friend posted something they believe is funny. They go and search for a law or right that might help them, but they find Section 230 instead, a law that doesn't help. Your friend is a hole because the content liability is on them and what they said. As stated by Gregory M. Dickinson in Section 230, A Juridical History, Section 230's simple rule for various liability works well in the publication context. Content creators are subject to liability, whereas mere context of the content are not. But there is a light at the end. As they dive deeper, they realize that the content provider can get in trouble, as many people reported and no action happened. This is stated in Section 230 as civil rights statute. Without this immunity, actors all along the internet backbone, from service providers to websites to social media platforms, will all be much more susceptible to threats of liability and more likely to respond to threats with punishment. Without the liability, because they have seen it or done nothing, it will lead to a road of liability, and with that will lead to a good way for content providers to do what they need to do while getting in trouble for taking no action. But this is not always a fixed situation. There are real life events that happen. For example, the court case of Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization, as stated in Section 230 as a civil rights statute by a unique way. 4 days after the Dobbs decision, South Carolina legislators proposed a law that would make it unlawful to aid, abet, or conspire with somebody to proceed an abortion. Aiding and abetting in this context means providing information on abortion services to a pregnant woman by telephone, internet, or other modes of communication. Oklahoma enacted a law in May 2022 that allowed a civil action against any person who knowingly engaged in conduct that aids and abets in the performance or induces of an abortion. As a general matter, the First Amendment is not defensible to aiding and abetting criminal liability. This is the case where the courts decided it was not right to take away the speech, but the apps should not get in trouble for talks of others. The companies are still not getting in trouble for seeing the speech and not doing anything that may be hurtful to others. This is why we should put more pressure on the social media companies so that the people are not held accountable for using the freedom of speech. Of course, it is so bad to the point where the person gets hurt, then both points should be held accountable, and without that will lead to a fall of social media.